Here we have in the Chronicle of Froissart the tale of how Richard II tricked and captured the Duke of Gloucester in my home county of Essex. King Richard noted all these things which were said to him in the privacy of his chamber, and took them so much to heart, he was apprehensive by nature, that shortly after the Duke of Lancaster and York had gone away, he decided upon a bold and daring move. He had reflected that it was better to destroy than to be destroyed, and that speedy action could prevent his uncle from ever being a threat to him again. Since he could not carry out his plans without help, he confided in the man whom he trusted most, his cousin, the Earl Marshal, Earl of Nottingham, telling him exactly what he wanted done. The Earl Marshal, who preferred the king to the Duke of Gloucester, having received many favours from him, revealed the king's plans to no one, except to those whose assistance he required, for he also could not act alone. What had been agreed between them will become clear as you read on. On the pretext of hunting deer, the king went to a manor in Essex called Havering-atte-Bower, 20 miles from London, and about the same distance from Pleshy, where the Duke now lived almost permanently. One afternoon, the king left Havering-atte-Bower with only a part of his retinue, having left the others at Eltham with the Queen, and reached Pleshy at about 5 o'clock. It was a very fine hot day, with no one keeping watch, and he entered the castle unnoticed, until someone shouted, "The king is here!" The Duke of Gloucester had already finished supper, for he was a sparing eater and did not linger over his meals. He came out to meet the king in the courtyard of the castle, receiving him with all the forms of respect due to the sovereign, which he well knew how to pay. The Duchess and her children, who were there, did the same. Then the king went into the hall, and from there into the chamber. A table was set for him, and he ate a little. He had already said to the Duke, "Uncle, have some of your horses saddled, not all of them, but half a dozen. I want you to come back to London with me. I have a meeting with the Londoners tomorrow, at which my uncles of Lancaster and York will certainly be present, and I shall want your advice on how to deal with a request that they are bringing to me. Tell your steward that the rest of your people must follow tomorrow, and join you in London then." The Duke, who had no suspicions, readily agreed. The king soon finished eating and got up. Everyone was ready. The king took leave of the Duchess and her children and mounted his horse, as did the Duke, taking with him from Pleshy only 4 squires and 4 servants. They took the Billericay road to have an easier ride and avoid Brentwood and other towns, and they travelled fast, for the king pretended to be in a hurry to reach London. He and his uncle chatted together as they rode, and made such progress that soon they came near to Stratford and the Thames. There, in a narrow place, the Earl Marshal was waiting in ambush. When the king had almost reached the spot, he left his uncle's side and galloped ahead of him. The Earl Marshal appeared with a number of men on horseback, and going up to the Duke of Gloucester said, "I arrest you in the king's name." The Duke was astounded and saw clearly that he had been betrayed, and began to shout after the king. Richard, on whose orders all this was being done, affected not to hear, but rode straight on and came that night to the Tower of London. Thank you for watching the YouTube channel of Medieval Chronicles, and please subscribe to hear more original texts from the English Middle Ages. Thank you from London, and goodbye.